loaded up. After 3 games, we are now at match point, which means PartinG can close it out right now. In the top left-hand corner, was up against the ropes, base trade after base trade. He's managed to pull the lead from SKT1. It is PartinG! And down in the bottom left-hand corner. He loves those timing attacks, but he needs the follow-through to tie it up. From SK, it's the boss toss, MC! Man, this front row is hype.
They love the boss toss.
Oh, they actually are holding up signs that say front row, best row. That's my kind of person, someone who brings a sign that just says, me, yeah, me. Not any of the players, myself, hell yeah. Now, it looks like the poll is a very reasonable question. Who's more likely to open Dark Templar? I would personally give the favorite heavily to PartinG in this circumstance because he's the one who likes to do the extreme tactic opening straight into really normal play. And Dark Shrine is a great opening in order to do that.
We'll see if he chooses to go down that route. Whirlwind is probably the best map in this map pool to go for the fast expansion openings.
Yeah.
The natural is so easy to defend. There's only one spot the stalkers can blink from where your potential third would be into your main, and you can, as long as you anticipate that move, you can come back to defend fairly easily. So I do think we may see one of these players opt for that. Of course, one way to combat that is to do something really aggressive. Try to get Dark Templar out super fast, or try to do some crazy, very heavy gateway pressure early on. So one of these players may try to anticipate an expansion and try to take advantage of it in some way.
One of a really strong example of that aggression is like 3 gate pushes. What we saw MC try to do on Frost works very nicely on this map. You shove your opponent all the way back, and you expand behind it. You can do any follow-up from there. Stargate even, Robo. PartinG and MC both have 3 in each of their geysers, and we see no Zealot out of either of them. And this is interesting from PartinG, a very fast third pylon at that backside. Hints that he wants to be a little bit on the aggro, or not aggro I should say, but the producing of all the basic unit sides. So it does look like it's going to be a 1-gate expand out of PartinG.
We do see that sentry coming out, and that's almost a dead giveaway that it is an expansion or Dark Templar, but there's no Twilight Council down yet, so it's more likely to be the expansion build. Just because if you get that sentry early out, your defenses are so strong, and you have all these extra minerals. So we can do the extra minerals, you're either going to tech fast, or you're going to, of course, go for that Nexus. Now, MC is actually going straight for Twilight Council. So what his intentions are with that, we'll have to wait and see. And there goes the Nexus from PartinG.
It should be a Dark Shrine for this map. That is the appropriate play that people would label for this map. There it is, going down. Looks like everyone who just said that MC is going to go Dark Shrine has exceptional clairvoyance in this position. Way to go, guys.
Now, PartinG is doing this Mothership Core Scout again. This is something he's been doing consistently throughout the series.
It's a Stargate out of PartinG.
Ooh, this is tricky. This is a very bold opening by PartinG, going Nexus into Stargate. And the thing about it is, you see how he's much more timid with his scouting? Because he doesn't want to use a recall.
Yeah, you can't. You have to. The only way that this 1-gate expand works is if you do have a photon overcharge. So it's a very tenuous scout.
And the fact he was unable to scout going Stargate. Now, if he goes Oracle first, he can still be okay. Oracles can use Revelation to reveal Dark Templar. But it's hard to make the call to go Oracle first. Now, right now, this Hallucinated Phoenix being sent out from PartinG is so important. This Phoenix needs to get this kind of information done to tell him that he needs to either get 2 Oracles or keep his Oracle back at home.
So there is the Phoenix moving in, and it sees the Dark Shrine.
Oh, what an absolutely great scout from PartinG. Now he knows, instead of sending Oracle out to attack, we'll keep it at home for Revelation, adding in a Robo, and he just has to go full defensive mode, and he knows, I'm facing a 1-base opponent, I have 2 bases, I have the right tools to defend the detection, I just have to make sure my defense is absolutely spotless.
Well, there are some potential attacks that can knock this down, but I love the way MC's playing this out. 1 Dark Templar, and not a lot else. Moves up the ramp, he gets trapped, and it will be a kill on one of the sentries. That's a pretty fair trade, to be honest. You've wasted the Oracle. You've wasted the energy on 2 force fields, and you've killed a sentry, all for the cost of a single DT. And Dark Templar are going to be useful all game long.
They will. This is a situation where, for the rest of the game, PartinG has to make sure at every location that's important to him, everywhere he has probes, everywhere his army is, he needs to have some form of detection there. And as the game goes on, it becomes more and more expensive. So Dark Templar, currently, because MC opened it before expansion, he's going to be a little bit behind in economy. But you can see here, PartinG, for a while, up until he spotted the expansion of his opponent, he was scared that it could have been Dark Templar into 4-gate Archon Stalker Zealot push, which sometimes happens against a fast expansion. But now that he's realized it's not, he's gone back to probe production. But because he was so afraid of that attack, he's actually not that far ahead in economy.
Absolutely. All undoubtedly true. I mean, even the probe counts reveal that it's 36 to 31. Normally that's a pretty notable differential, but gas is the huge focus, much less on minerals. And right now, we see Hallucinated Phoenix, we see the aggressive Oracle. Both players are trying to find out, what is my enemy's gateway count? Because if it's just at 3, you can hold off almost anything just with a photon overcharge and your normal units. So if you keep seeing just 3 gateways, you're going to begin teching. You're going to get a forge. You're going to get a robo facility. We see immortals coming out. And this is where we oftentimes see a 3rd base. I mean, PartinG is actually, looks like he will be gearing up to take a 3rd if he continues to spot no extra gateways.
PartinG's going straight for the support facility and the upgrades. Now, here's a difference. MC is not going straight for the Colossi. He's instead going for Blink. And getting a later Blink like this is interesting because it's not as expected. So sometimes you can get the surprise damage. But it also means that as the mid-game develops, MC is going to have a weaker standing army in a straight-on engagement.
Yeah.
But Whirlwind's a huge map. So as players take 3rd... Oh, look at this. MC almost catches out the Oracle, and he does get it. And that's a nice win because that's a threat that can pop it into spaces at any moment and kill a ton of probes. And now that that's dead, he can breathe a little bit easier.
CMC starting to warp in some Zealots. Very surprising choice. Looks like he's gearing up to try to consider some counters. You know, things I love about PartinG, just the standard strength. Far up in the top right, we see that there's a pylon. Nowhere even close to a base of MC, but it's the fact that it's out of the way that makes it so strong. It can be a very slow but very critical Zealot counterattack in the late game. So we're seeing the charge come down for MC. They're both getting more gateways. I mean, what's your read on who's ahead right now?
Personally, I really favor PartinG's position. I like the Colossi, the stronger composition, but it's basically a clash of styles. And PartinG is so good at using Colossi. We saw in that last game, even though he fell so far behind early, just give him 2 Colossi and some forts looking to make magic happen. MC has more mobile composition. He has the Blink Stalkers. Now, MC could try to use this to take a much faster 3rd base, but he hasn't grabbed that 3rd yet. And if they both sit on 2 bases for too long, the Colossi count will just get out of control.
I mean, it's these 6 Zealots that I see for MC that really ain't doing too much. That could have been the much faster Nexus, but both players giving each other a lot of respect. We see cannons going down all across the bases for PartinG. He's having to spend money that may very well never even be used. Another cannon going down in the main base of PartinG. Wow.
PartinG's definitely, what he's doing is, it's not just to stop Dark Templar. In his main, he's also very aware that right now, if a player ends up with Blink Stalkers in the mid-game, it's very popular to grab 4 to 5 Stalkers, sneak them into your opponent's main at some random point in the game, and just focus down probes.
Yeah.
And that's something that gives value to Blink Stalkers, where in a direct engagement, they don't have quite the same value that the other combat units do. And that's something why he's saying, you know what, I'm going to get 2 photon cannons, just to make sure if he tries to do some Stalker shenanigans, focus down a cannon, then sneak in Dark Templar, I have the backup cannon there as well. So very meticulous defensive play from PartinG.
God, PartinG is just, I would almost call him just light years ahead right now. I mean, the fact that his supply is mostly Colossus. There's no 3rd Nexus down for MC still. I mean, I just don't see an advantage for MC at this point.
I mean, the only advantage he has is that Dark Templar Shrine could kick in. And the fact that he's actually not too far behind. I mean, yes, PartinG has an edge in Colossi, but with the Blink Stalker map control MC has, there's really no effective way for PartinG to cross the map and kill MC. And over the next couple minutes, MC, he's getting a 2nd Robo, he's getting Thermal Lance, so he'll be able to catch up in Colossi count. He's also grabbing a 3rd Nexus, so he's really relying on the map control the Blink Stalkers are giving him right now to try to keep PartinG on the defensive for the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved to see a much earlier 3rd. I mean, the question is, if PartinG attacks right now, what can MC do about it? I mean, in the Colossus count, it's 3 to 1. Immortal lead does go to PartinG. Archon lead to PartinG. I mean, all the edges seem to be in PartinG's favor. The only thing that's going for MC is that Stalker count.
And that's something that's not particularly viable in a straight-on engagement. PartinG, he senses the moment of weakness. He's crossing the map. He wants to deny MC's third. Now, MC could cancel the third and defend his natural. The natural ramp is pretty easy to defend with Photon Overcharge and Time Warps. He should defend his natural. The question is MC willing to sacrifice his third base, or is he going to try to save it? Looks like he's positioned to try to defend this ramp.
Oh, he's moving down. There's the blink to try to catch the Colossus off guard, and it is absorbing a lot of Colossus shots, but I mean, the Colossus from PartinG are just in the most amazing position. The Zealots from PartinG also breaking through. All the edges going in the favor of the SKT-1 Protoss. A little bit of micro, too, trying to land those Immortals right by the Colossus. Looks like might barely be able to pick off this one Immortal, but loses the Colossus. Yes, there it goes down. PartinG is just smashing down the front with superior fundamental play.
You can see tons of Zealots pouring in here from PartinG. He has an overwhelming army advantage, not even going for the third Nexus. Says, I want to go straight for the throat, going for MC's natural. MC's trying to do what he can with a single. Oh, now he has two Colossi, but there's charge on those Zealots, and they are vicious guys with that charge upgrade.
As much as MC tries to micro, he's lost every probe at his natural expansion. War Prism from PartinG warping in more. I mean, PartinG is just looking unstoppable at Battlegrounds.
MC now is just trying to basically recognize his fate come.
There it is. GG. The first finalist